Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Channel Trishers Podcast. I am, of course, your host, Jay, and joining me as always in my corner are my two friends, Brian and Tony. How you doing tonight, fellas?
Doing good.
I contemplated doing this entire episode in a urgent British accent. I really was gonna do it, but then I was like, and I could do it. I can maintain an accent the entire time. Like you guys have seen me RP with accents. I could do it.
Yeah, same.
But I'm like, would that annoy the audience? So I was like, you know what? I would have fun, but if the audience isn't having fun, well, I'm not gonna put them through that. Although I don't think my accent is that bad.
Yeah, but I will say that for me, my go-to British accent is definitely Doctor Who inspired, so it's a little bit more posh.
No, I watch a lot of Peaky Blinders, mate. So you got it.
Yeah.
I definitely know the more gruff sounding things where you're from the East End and you gotta fight for your life and cut people up when you have to.
Yep. Which, speaking of Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. So. That was my segue. Nice catch, Brian. Tonight's topic is going to be a show created by the creator of Peaky Blinders for Hulu called 1000 Blows. I don't know. So did they ever say if this was set in the same world? Because I mean, it's kind of the same. It's the same area.
I don't
obviously
think it
a
is.
different time period. Okay, interesting. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. If you guys have followed this podcast for any amount of time, you know that I love boxing. I'm a big fan of the sport. I've been a fan of the sport since I was a kid. My grandfather taught me how to box. It means a lot to me. So, I love anything that involves boxing. We covered the awesome crime K-drama, was it Bloodhound, a couple years ago, and that was awesome. Definitely has the same kind of vibe. So if you did enjoy the show Bloodhound, you will definitely enjoy the 1000 Blows, I will say right off bat. So it's gonna be fun to talk about. It's got interesting setting, great characters, amazing music. But we'll get deeper into that in a bit. Of course, we can't start off an episode of the podcast without first jumping right into the news with Brian. Take it away, Brian.
Well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to start off again with another in memoriam, and unfortunately, this was bunch of people died. We're only going to cover a couple. If we missed anybody, let us know in the comments, and you guys can let me know if I missed anyone big. But also, don't want to blast anybody, but I'm hearing from multiple different homies they lost people this week. It's just been a bad week. But as far as celebrities go, first of all, one of my childhood crushes, Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yeah, that one was probably the biggest one. I mean, I of course Buffy, but I also was a huge fan of Gossip Girl, so Michelle Trachtenberg,
Also, Harriet the Spy.
Was never really my thing, but Gossip Girl and Buffy. Hell yeah. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
We still have no official word on what happened, but still.
What they said last time I checked was that she had to have a kidney transplant, and they think that her body rejected the implant.
Okay. So it was a botched surgery. That really sucks. That's actually very similar to a friend of mine who died when we were in high school. It wasn't a kidney transplant. She had her appendix removed, and then literally she had an appendectomy, and literally the day not even the day after, but maybe a few days after, she passed away.
Damn.
Yeah, the surgery complications are definitely super sudden, and that's always going to catch people off guard, because you think everything's done, but then life happens. Rest in peace to Michelle Trachtenberg, man.
Indeed.
She was great.
Underrated actress. And surprisingly, people didn't play on it, but she was funny. She could be funny when she wanted to be.
It was so weird because we were just, even on this podcast, we were just talking about Buffy relatively recently, because we were talking about the how the cast was talking about the possibility of a reboot, not a reboot, but a continuation type thing.
Yeah, and I think I even forgot her name, but mentioned her last podcast. I called her Harriet the Spy because I couldn't remember her name.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if the thing that I mentioned about the funny thing is, if you guys ever want to watch a raunchy comedy, highly recommend Hero Trip.
Oh, that's a classic.
She was in there. She was the girl twin.
Oh, nice.
That's people that don't know. That's where Scotty Doesn't Know originated.
Interesting.
Which the lead singer played by, he didn't sing it, but he lip synced it, Matt Damon.
Huh, nice.
But the other big name that we lost this week was Gene Hackman.
Yeah, I heard about that one, and that one's crazy.
Yeah, because not only did we lose him, but we also lost his wife.
And one of their dogs as well too. They found one of their dogs also. It's wild.
Yep. But only one of their 3 dogs.
Yeah, I know.
Which is weird. And people say, apparently neighbors said that he was bedridden towards the end. And I mean, he was 95. But that wouldn't also explain the dog and his 65-year-old wife.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, you hear the description of that, and then like they're like, the authorities say no foul play. I'm like, bullshit. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
This just sounds weird.
Because apparently they also did rule out carbon monoxide.
Yeah, I saw that. It's so,
and also,
I
don't want to get too gruesome, but they said that when they actually found the bodies were like starting to mummify. And he had a pacemaker on, and it was last active, I think, like 10 days before they found he was reported dead.
Okay.
So the bodies seem to be like in a place where it's harder to tell.
Man, it's just so odd.
Yeah, it is. And also they were at 2 different places in the house when it happened. So it wasn't even a localized thing.
Yeah, and like there's no sign, and they said there was no sign of forced entry or anything like that. So it's like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, but beyond that, Gene Hackman was a legendary actor.
Yeah, and of course, the biggest thing connected to a thing that we all love is that, of course, he was the original movie Lex Luthor.
And even in the Nuclear Man one, he still did his best to be a good Lex Luthor, but that man was in a lot of things.
He's definitely up there. I kind of equate his Lex to the same ranking I hold Nicholson's Joker. Not personally my cup of tea, but I respect it for, trailblazing.
Yeah, and he was in a lot of stuff, and I will give him credit. Also, he's one of the few actors who said, I'm retiring, and then stayed retired.
I have a feeling Bruce Willis is going to stay retired because of his whole degenerative disease.
But Gene Hackman retired in 2004.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his last movie that he did was Welcome to Mooseport, where he co-starred with Ray Romano. But guy was a legendary great actor, Behind Enemy Lines, Royal Tenenbaums, and he will be missed. All 3 of them will be missed. R.I.P.
Oh, yeah.
But moving on to actual news, this one's going to be a little bit different because it's 3 smaller announcements that are under one basic topic, and that's
Gotcha.
Marvel.
Oh, is this about the concept art leak?
Well, that's part of it. But first of all, the official stuff. First of all, it was announced that Punisher, Frank Castle, is getting his own Marvel special presentation.
Yep. So it'll be along the lines of the Werewolf by Night thing, which honestly I think is the best move. As cool as Punisher is, and as good as that first season was of the Netflix show, I don't think Frank is really conducive to like super long form storytelling.
Oh, I agree with that one.
Because he's one of those protagonists that kills his bad guys. So what you gonna do?
He typically works in short form stories or when he's part of an ensemble because he's like the wild card of the group. And that is why over the years Punisher comic book writers have had to get so unique with his stories, some to less than favorable.
I really like the what was it? Yeah, it was Jason Aaron. I really like Jason Aaron's one where he took over the hand. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Also,
he fought Ares, and it was so sick.
Yeah. for as absurd as it was, I did like the Frankenstein.
I'm not gonna let you rock with that one. Fuck that. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Like, why would you need Frankencastle, man?
That one is right up there with right after Frankencastle. He got recruited by heaven to become a angel of death.
Hey,
and that one I can actually take more. Frankencastle was so fucking dumb.
None of that will be as bad as though when he became a black man.
Oh yeah. His blackface episode from that weird cosmetic surgery where he spent the day hanging out with Luke Cage was a really weird time.
Yeah, but it is clear that John Bernthal is very connected to this character.
He's got a really good performance. He's got the right mix. The only thing that I wish that Bernthal could bring more, because I think Bernthal makes Frank too likable. No, because for me, right, and maybe this is just my own personal taste with Frank. This is how I viewed the character. Like, dude is a fucking psycho. He was created as a villain for a reason, because he's supposed to show the failure of a system, which is why it's really fucking dumb to see police officers co-opt his logo, because he fucking hates you. He would hate. What are you doing?
He was the original ACAB.
He was never a cop. I still don't think it works for him. I still don't think he should ever be a cop. Soldier is that is who he's meant to be, because the whole metaphor of the never-ending war is just, that is Frank. And that's what Frank needs to be, is this kind of cold, lights are on but nobody's home kind of person. I personally, in my opinion, the best Punisher to capture the spirit of Frank for me was was Stevenson the one in Warzone? Who was the one in Warzone? Yeah, that was Stevenson,
Wasn't
right?
that Jane?
No, Jane was the first one, or was Stevenson the first one? I don't remember.
That's right. I think I mixed them up because Thomas Jane did the Dirty Laundry.
Did Dirty Laundry. Yeah, Thomas Jane was first.
And that was one of the best adaptations of Frank.
Yeah, but
that was a short film.
Ray Stevenson, rest in peace. He gave the performance for Frank that I've always been looking for. He is that just kind of cold bastard that I've always seen Frank as, because in my mind, right, Frank, it's not necessarily that that his family dying turned him into the Punisher. I've always thought he was always the Punisher. His family was just his only reason to stay a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's
I agree with that.
what pushed him to the edge.
Yeah, so
the last nail in the coffin, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that with this special presentation, this is not a Marvel mandate. This was after filming him in Daredevil Born Again. They came up with the idea for this and wanted to do it, and Marvel said yes. And apparently it will be running concurrently with what they're now calling season 2 of Born Again, which is the next 9 episodes after.
Yeah, the second half. Oh, question about that. So is it a binge drop, or is it going to be weekly?
It's going to be weekly.
Okay, good.
All Marvel stuff.
As it should be. Well, hey, you never know, man. Because Spider-Man did that whole chunk release.
Yeah. Which they're now starting to film season 2,
mm-hmm.
And with that, we got an announcement that someone is joining the cast for season 2.
Okay.
One Mr. Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, I saw this on Twitter. A lot of people want him to play Stiltman.
Yeah, I've also seen people say Dr. Fear.
Yeah, Mr. Fear is one I've seen a lot. Yeah, shout out to the homie Chris. Chris brought up Mr. Fear. I think Mr. Fear would be perfect. Mr. Fear.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Fear is also the guy who, drove Matt's wife Mila insane and got her put into a asylum.
Yeah, 'cause some people might forget that he got his start playing villainous characters.
I mean, Scream.
Yeah.
And also that Sam Waterston movie that I talked about a while ago.
Oh yeah.
Where he was the teen son, but. Because his whole character was, my mom's a suspected killer. How can I merchandise this?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah. So while I would like to see him be likable, because I like him, he also is really good at a villain. So I can also see him playing a villain.
Mr. Fear,
And
I think would be the best choice for sure.
it's exciting to see, and for the Stiltman argument, depending on how much of the Netflix stuff is actually canon, we can see Stiltman stilts in
Gladiators thing, yeah.
yeah. So that's interesting.
I wonder how much of the Netflix thing is canon, because like because they could decide that some of it is not, and we could get like a whole new Ben Urich. Be like, oh yeah, Ben Urich didn't die. Here's a Ben Urich.
Interesting.
You know what
But
I mean?
yeah, oh yeah, I could see that.
Because I mean, don't get me wrong. Ben Urich's death was super impactful in the original Netflix show, and it was great. I wouldn't change that. But like, this is their opportunity to bring back Ben, and he is like arguably like the third most important supporting cast member, right behind like Karen and Foggy in terms of Matt's supporting cast.
Indeed. But last but not least, like you said, Jay, there were a bunch of concept art leaks.
Yeah, so
I don't know if y'all saw them.
Yeah, so I did. So apparently, this artist, I'm not gonna try and pronounce her name because it's I'm not gonna butcher it, but an artist who worked for Marvel and did a bunch of concept art uploaded accidentally to her art station a bunch of Marvel concept art. It ranges from like stuff from movies that we've already seen and stuff from movies that have already come out, like a lot of looks for like Serpent Society people that were gonna be in the movie in the original take, like Diamondback, Seth Rollins version of Sidewinder, stuff like that. I'm not gonna talk too heavily about leaks because that could get us in trouble. But one thing that I did find really interesting that a lot of people are talking about is that one thing that we saw was a Black Panther design that looked very like whose likeness looked very, very similar to the actor Dempson Idris. And if you guys don't know who Dempson Idris is, watch Snowfall. He played to come out in the last, like, it's amazing. And like, man, that'd be really cool. Like, I don't know how that would work. Is he like T'Challa's son from the future? I mean,
or
Kang,
multiverse.
Yeah, or multiverse. Like,
because one of them did seemingly confirm a famous location from Secret Wars. Is it called Green World?
Battle World?
The old part of Battle World.
It's Greenland.
Oh yeah, the Greenland. Yeah. From 2016 Secret Wars. Yeah, the Greenland.
Yeah. But in that image,
not to be confused with the Viking territory,
we can see Scar, who looks more comic book accurate.
Thank fucking Christ.
Yeah,
because of hairline, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, you need.
And
you need to smash.
It seemingly one of the images shows Emperor Doom, God Emperor Doom.
Again, these are all alleged. We'll.
Yeah, allegedly.
We're not trying to get bonked by the mouse's lawyer.
We're only talking about speculation here. We're not confirming anything.
Just gotta.
Like I said, the only thing confirmed is Matthew Lillard and the Punisher news.
Just gotta cover our asses so we don't get that cease and desist, Huh?
Yeah, this is all just speculation. We love to talk about speculation here. We probably would have gone on with the Matthew Lillard one more, if not for the fact that we're not trying to be too long. And in that spirit, I'm going to end the news there.
Okay, so moving on from the news, we're going to go ahead and jump right into Screen Time. Screen Time is, of course, the segment of the podcast where the guys and I all talk about the different pieces of media we have consumed in between podcast episodes. That could be anything from TV shows and movies we don't have time to cover, YouTube shows. It seems like every week I talk about a casualty comic video because I do love Sasha's content. But other stuff like that, music, and in my case, video games. So I'll go ahead and start. I really did not have, I don't have too much to report, but Monster Hunter Wilds is out as of the recording of this podcast. It's been out for like a few days now, and I'm not a fan of Monster Hunter. I've never played it. I've seen it, but I've never played it. But a friend of mine started playing it, and I edited one of his videos. I think it was for like a not a press release thing, but it was like he got one of those like big press kits, and like he did a whole video on it. Yeah, so after seeing the footage, I was like, yo, this game looks dope as hell, and I got my first ever tax return, because your boy's a big boy with a big boy job now. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy, not only am I gonna buy Monster Hunter, I'm gonna buy it for my little cousin so we can play it together. So I bought Monster Hunter, and I locked the fuck in. Let me tell you, I played this thing the entire weekend. I did sleep. There was only one day, which was I think Friday, where I like played until like 5 or 6 a.m. straight. But I did actually sleep. I've logged about 30 hours in this game. I beat the story. The story's really good. I did enjoy the story a lot. I really like the fact that you can play everything in co-op, so you don't have to face all these monsters by yourself. It's really fun. I enjoy grinding armor. Some of the armor looks really cool, looks cool as fuck. I've shown Tony a lot of my favorite.
Yeah, all that looks dope as fuck.
Also, thank you, Konami, for adding an arachnophobia mode to this game, because god, there are so many giant spiders, and all the giant spiders have the coolest armor and weapons. So I'm just like, all right, I gotta hunt these fucking spiders so I can get my goddamn weapons. Lucky I want this. You're lucky I want this great sword. But yeah, it's fun, man. You get to ride on this dope flightless bird that's like almost like raptor. It's like a mix of a ostrich and a raptor.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
And distinctive.
Yeah. It's really cool. And we have a talking cat companion called a Palico.
Yeah.
And like normally I don't fuck with cats, but this cat definitely was more dog-like in personality, so they were cool. And plus I like changed them around to make them look more like my dog. So and I named them after my dog. So I'm like, yeah, you're cool. I like you. But yeah, the game is fun. I had a blast. That literally just kind of absorbed my entire weekend. So I have nothing else to report. Other than I as per usual, I guess this is kind of a tradition now. I checked out Sasha's channel and watched her latest videos, and they were great.
Where this is one of those Lois Lane stories where
oh man,
she
where she marries the guy who turns out to be like this like master of disguise. Man.
Where she almost fucking got killed.
Yep.
Again.
Yep, and but I do love that she was acting like logical and reasonable the whole time. It was like, no, I can't marry you. Other stories I've watched in this playlist, and Sasha's even mentioned it. She just kind of rolls with it and just like, oh, okay, I guess. But like, yeah, that was fun. This other stuff. Man, comics were really good last week, you guys. And again, thank you guys for showing a lot of love to this week's Comic Caser. It looks like Wednesday uploads are going to be the play. Man, last week was so good. Also, one thing I didn't realize that I did not like call out in my review, but I like reread the comic and I noticed it now. I did not know, because it's because of how she's drawn. She looks grown. I did not know that Ultimate Felicia is actually the same age as Richard. Yeah, she's 16 and Richard is 15. I'm like, oh, I thought you were grown. The way you are drawn, you do not look but 16-year-olds are built different in the Marvel universe. Marvel 6160, I guess. Big stuff happens in Ultimate Spider-Man. I will not spoil. Holy shit. Massive plot point. And Ultimate X-Men, cool boy. It is about to go down. Kageyama is popping off. It's scary stuff. Fucking wonderful. I'm really enjoying everything the Ultimate Universe has to offer that I'm reading so far.
So Kageyama's actually been doing crazy shit.
Oh yeah, I believe issue 13 is officially like they titled it like something war, like Mutant War or something like that. That is the title of the new arc. It's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So Brian, what about you?
Well, first of all, I watched season 2 of White Lotus. Sorry. I really like it. I honestly think that I prefer season 2 over season 1, but I can see how critics prefer season 1.
And
Because
season 2 is the one that's set in India?
nope, it's set in Sicily.
Oh, Sicily. Okay.
But season 2 is less avant-garde than season 1 is.
Oh, okay. So it's less artsy.
Yeah, and it seems like beyond like the actual physical locations, White Lotus is also doing this thing where each season has like a theme to it.
Oh, so kind of like True Detective.
Where season 1 was more about like privilege and the different types of privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And season 2 seems to be more about like lust and the different types of lust.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I really like it. Aubrey Plaza is in it.
Oh, yeah.
He does a really good job. Theo James is in it. He does a really good job, which, for those that don't know, he was 4 in Divergent, but also podcast relevant. He was the time traveler and the time traveler's wife.
Yep.
He does a really good job. This time, instead of it being a nuclear family, it's a
blended family?
three grandfather,
Oh,
a son,
multi-generational.
and a grandson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the grandfather is played by F. Murray Abraham. Great older actor. He does an awesome job. The father is played by Michael Imperioli
Neither names are ringing a bell.
Well, F. Murray Abraham is an old school actor.
Okay.
Like I believe he's in his 80s now.
Oh, geez. Wow.
But Michael Imperioli is he was the young guy from Sopranos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the dad, and then the grandson is an adult, and they're all here to go investigate their family lineage, because...
Yeah, Sicily.
And then instead of a newlywed couple, it's 2 couples that are friends that have been married for a while.
Interesting.
And Aubrey Plaza is one of them, and Theo James is in the other. And they go through some troubling stuff. And then lastly, you do have Jennifer Coolidge's character returning. And this time she brought her assistant with her.
Wow.
And they don't get introduced until, like, I think it's episode 3 or 4. But there are also 2 other members of the cast which play pivotal roles in that last group's story. And they're actually played by the guy who played Truman Capote in Feud.
Oh, cool.
And the other one played Dexter in One Day.
Oh, Dex.
White Lotus is how he got his start.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's very complex, very good. I couldn't go into more detail without spoiling, but I did really like it. And as Jay could see, it was more palatable, and I binged it. Faster.
He finished White Lotus before he started Thousand Blows, because I remember I was starting it, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna finish White Lotus season 2 first. I was like, well, dang.
Well, it's also because White Lotus season 1 is 6 episodes. White Lotus season 2 is 7. So it's not that big of a binge.
Are they not? But aren't they hour-long episodes? Like 40 minutes ish. Yeah.
But anyway, also going through a weird time, IRL.
Gotcha.
But anyway, then also checked out the latest episode of Grosse Pointe Garden Society. Oh, things are getting juicy and really messy.
Nice.
And they're also I talked about this with episode 1, but it seems like this is an ongoing thing. They're kind of doing how if you remember in Flash, when they'd and the Arrowverse stuff, when they'd have flash forwards where we'd actually like follow the story of the flash forward, and they'd allude to what happened in the time.
Yeah, in the interim. Yeah.
They're doing that.
Interesting.
But they're also telling you the story of like modern time congruently.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm really liking it. The only thing that is kind of a negative is he's not really in the first episode except for a little bit, but apparently he's a full-on cast member. He's Matthew Davis, Alaric from...
Oh, I was like that name sounds super familiar. The homie from Legacies, yeah, Alaric.
Yeah. because he's not a good person IRL.
Not from what I've heard.
Yeah, but we don't need to go into that. Then also I checked out, because I've been hearing buzz about this, a new possible web show that might be in the works. It's called Pretty Please I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. It's this like 10-minute animatic proof of concept pilot. And it is really good. It focuses on this lead girl who is clearly like running away from her duties of being a magic girl and just wants to be a normal girl.
I mean, I've seen Madoka Magica. Being a magical girl gets really fucked up sometimes.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And you just say bye-bye to everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Man.
Oh yeah.
That's what happens when you have a magical girl series written by Gen Urobuchi.
But then
Yeah.
of
Nature
course,
does not open.
yeah. And then of course the first girl that she befriends at her new school is a fan of magical girls manga. Even reads a manga that is titled Moon Sailor.
Oh.
Nice.
But yeah, it was really cool. Apparently, this was like a not planned out thing. It was just supposed to be the artist her trying to improve her skills, and then
Gotcha.
it snowballed. But she does have a 9 to 5, so unfortunately, if anything does happen, it will take a while.
Yeah, it'll be on the back burner. Understandable.
But it does, as of recording, currently have 1.5 million views on YouTube.
Nice. Good for her.
So who knows? But yeah, give that a watch if you have 10 minutes, and it's really cool. And then lastly, Haley Whipjack did a new video, and I won't go too much into it because it's not a Once Upon a Time video. It's a Targaryen family tree, or as they refer to it, Targaryen family reef.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a reef, a bush.
They started with Aegon the Conqueror and his 2 sister wives.
Yeah, I mean that is the easiest place to start.
Yeah, you should start there.
And then
unless we're gonna go as far back as like the old Dragon Lords and like Daenerys the Dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
But she openly admitted that she was just wanting to talk about the family mess and like focus on the tree when it's getting like reefy.
I mean, like, there's like Habsburg levels of inbreeding in
Oh yeah,
in the Targaryen household.
and she goes into all of that.
It's very heavy on the Baratheon branch, especially because the Baratheons
Oh,
are
yeah.
actually, a lot of people forget this because they didn't really bring it up as much except for a little bit in the first season. But the Baratheons are technically a cadet branch of the Targaryen family.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because the original founder of House Baratheon was a alleged bastard brother of Aegon.
Yeah, and she touches upon that and like just focuses on the family tree part, not like the wars and stuff, and focuses on book canon, which they said that unfortunately that means that they can't talk about Rhaenyra. That
Yeah.
I think that's the ship name.
Well, yeah, because like in the actual books, Rhaenyra and Alicent have like a massive age gap. She's like 8 and Alicent is like 18, 19.
Well,
Yeah.
Rhaenyra is 9 when Alice gets married
Yeah,
to her dad.
that's what I'm saying. She was around 8 or 9, and then Alicent was like
But-
18, 19.
But yeah, she goes into that and openly admitted in the like prologue that she's gonna openly get like really attached to certain people, like she always does. One of which being the Targaryen that she said, "F all this. I'm gonna sleep with all the knights to get rid of my purity." And then when people get too on her, she leaves and forms her own brothel, and lives out happily away from the family.
Oh,
Yep.
her name is like Sarah.
Yeah, it is Sarah. She was one of Old King Joe's daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
she
the funny thing about that, one of her sons had a claim to the Iron Throne, and he came to the Iron Throne in the most boss way possible.
Oh,
He rode on a fucking elephant.
nice.
But yeah, no,
She also
I can relate to that. We got super attached to our Targaryens, in particular, fucking House White Flame, John's house.
yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
Fucking Arya, man.
Goddamn
God,
Arya. You ruined
Yeah.
ruined everything.
petulant child.
Also talked about how the Targaryens had surprising amount of twins because they needed more uniqueness to their bloodline.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, in real life, you are more likely to have twins if you are a twin.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. But
So-
also the story of the two twins who totally didn't switch lives because all of a sudden the shy one became very charismatic and started leading, and the very charismatic one all of a sudden became shy and left to another.
Yeah, the Targaryen household is full of a bunch of bullshit. It's really fascinating.
But
Yep.
she,
And we gotta love that nonsense.
but yeah, she goes into it in like a 2-hour long video,
also,
like
if
actually
you're a
writing
history
it
fan,
on a whiteboard.
Yeah, also if you're a history fan, a really interesting thing to do, and I've done a little bit of this, but I haven't gone as like in depth. You know, a lot of George's source material, like historical basis for Ice and Fire, was the War of the Roses. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
if you
Mhm.
looking if you like I did a little bit of this, like looking into some of the historical bases for like Robert and you know different things like that. It's really fucking fascinating.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is. Which is why she did a whole family tree, like I said, like wrote on it on a whiteboard. But the whiteboard was so big, I think they borrowed it from the school that they teach at
Makes sense.
because they needed such a big one. And she openly said, "And no, I will not use this whiteboard for my Once Upon a Time videos. This is just for this one because it's so big and complex and funny."
You need a smart board for Once Upon a Time.
But anyway, we don't need to go into that. Tony, what have you been watching?
Something kind of related to what you talked about, Brian, but albeit in a more actual factual history sense. I found a lot of like random history YouTube channels that caught my attention. Like one of my personal now is these really short, snappy, funny history videos done by Jack Rackham.
Oh, I've seen them.
They are so funny, even though like a lot of the history is kind of truncated to a degree where a lot of the nuances.
One of my favorite history channels is is the one Scottish guy who does the Mad Lads in history.
Yeah.
Fuck is that
Yeah.
guy's name? Wonderful channel, good stuff. Like that guy.
Also, the married couple, I forgot their name now. They're really cool. If you've seen them, where he's like an actual factual historian, so she asks some questions.
Nice. Any other stuff you want to highlight, Tony?
Well, that I have really mentioned is the one thing connected to my childhood all this time:
Okay.
Age of Mythology.
Oh right, you did. Yeah, you did say you were playing that ever since you got the new PC. Nice.
Oh no, I have had Classic Mythology in its rather shitty extended edition.
Ah.
Yeah, extended edition for Classic Age Mythology is bad, but fun in its own way. But I have retold on the PS5, and I am now able to actually play as the Chinese Pantheon in retold.
Oh, cool.
Because I bought the premium edition, and I had to wait like an extra few days before I can actually play as the Chinese Pantheon, which made me mad. And the way that Retold reshaped the Chinese Pantheon works so much better than it did in Extended Edition.
Oh, cool.
Because Extended Edition was a hodgepodge mess, especially how you get favor in Extended Edition as the Chinese, where you have to build gardens, like a plethora of gardens, and those gardens can gather other resources, which made it kind of similar to how the Egyptians play. And then some other aspects were taken from other parts of the different mythologies you can play.
But this time, the
With-
Chinese Pantheon has their own unique mechanic.
Yes, where how they gain favor is how much territory you have.
Well, that makes sense given their culture.
Yeah. And actually, you can actually tell how much territory is connected by a big area of effect to describe it. You know how you're going to like activate a god power?
Mhm.
It's just basically that around the buildings when you
Gotcha.
click on all
Okay.
the time. Like as soon as you click on a building, its area of favor is located. Plus they have a new peasant unit where that's basically this big motherfucker Like these dudes are giants, and they gather wood and gold, and they actually can build buildings faster than the regular folks.
Nice.
And my God, the most interesting thing that I actually love the most about Retold's revamp of the Chinese pantheon, they actually have more Chinese gods in there that are actual divinity. Because you know what Extended Edition did, Jay?
What'd they do?
They made Sun Wukong a minor god.
Dang.
Yeah, and of course Sun Wukong isn't there, which is fine. But a lot of the thing, like they chose a lot of great gods, and it makes a lot of sense thematically.
Cool. I'm not as familiar with the Chinese pantheon, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, I think what Extended Edition did, they tried to be as familiar with the Chinese pantheon, so they also had to throw a couple bones to Westerners that may not know a lot of Chinese gods.
Yeah, I learned bits and pieces from playing Wukong, but that's about it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that, what Extended Edition did. And with Retold's version of the Chinese pantheon, it really adds more gods that I didn't know about, which I think is very fascinating and very cool.
Oh, cool. I mean, I always like learning about new gods, so that's definitely
Yep.
And since I have the Premium Edition here on the PS5, I also would be able to get the second DLC with the other Pantheon.
Oh, cool.
And my whole theory is they may add either the Celtic gods, like the Tuatha De Danann.
Nice.
They might do that, or even better, they may add Aztec mythology.
Ooh, nice.
Interesante.
That reminds me, I have not played too much of Lost Belt 7.
And it gives me a conundrum. I don't know which I would prefer.
You know, I personal bias,
Yeah.
culture, but I would like the Aztec.
Yeah, I know. I like both ideas. I want to play as the gods of my ancestors, but also
The gods of my
as the
ancestors
gods
are
of
pretty
yours.
cool.
Yeah, you see my problem here.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Both are cool, and I'd be happy with either, but which one do I want more?
I mean, I guess it's just a win. I guess it's a win-win either way, any way you look at it. So there's that.
Yep.
Or they decide to throw a curveball and give us a different pantheon to play with altogether.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, as long as it's a unique and well-built way to play, I won't have problems with it. If it looks like a cobbled together mess, I will be pissed.
Understandable.
Understandable.
So with Age of Mythology, is that all you wanted to highlight for screen time?
Basically, yeah, because replaying the old school Extended Edition on the PC and then actually playing Retold on the PS5 makes me really love this game from my childhood. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, also, I have not forgotten about Marvel Rivals. I still play. I am learning more. I am learning to use the thing more, and Ben is very fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have not forgotten how to play Marvel Rivals, folks. We have not.
You know, we just wanted to, you know, divert a little bit because, like, you know, we've dedicated a lot to Marvel Rivals for quite some time.
We wanted a break, man. We wanted a break.
We were getting our, and I'll be honest with the audience. We were getting our ass kicked too much. We were just like, you know, let's just regroup, guys. We'll come back next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So moving on, we are getting to the final segment before the main discussion, and that is, of course, Trailer Talk. Trailer Talk is the segment of the podcast where our boy Brian has gathered together six brand new trailers for you guys to discover, and you can check that out by going down below to the description and clicking the link to that playlist. We will be back in a matter of seconds for you guys through the magic of editing after we watch that batch of trailers and react to them, and then we will give you our rapid fire thoughts. But until then, please enjoy this word from our non-existent sponsor. And we're back. Okay, so yeah, pretty solid batch of trailers. What do we want to start with? What do we want to talk about first?
Why not Doctor Who first?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for this new season. I really enjoyed Russell T Davies' previous season that he did. Did that episode go up? We recorded. I know we recorded one. I don't know if that episode went up.
If
or
we
not.
didn't, I know that if we didn't, we did talk about it in the year and wrap up.
Yeah, we definitely did talk about it in the year and wrap up. But we enjoyed Judy's first season as the new Doctor. It was really dope. I'm excited to see where this goes. Like, just from the trailer alone, it looks like they got a bump in the budget.
Mm-hmm.
The effects look really clean. Like, things look a little like more serious in tone. I love a lot of the outfits.
Oh yeah, and theories galore on it. Cause if you notice, this companion, he's not happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And also, in the trailer, not really any of the stories really take place in time.
Yep.
So the fan theory is that he accidentally picks her up, and then they're prevented from going back to modern time.
Oh.
But also, that whole Cuphead thing,
Mm-hmm.
people are pretty sure that that's a new god that's showing up.
Oh, along the lines of like the toy maker and stuff.
Well, the toy maker's children, like a maestro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that one might be the god of stories. People theorize.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. And also, apparently, they have confirmed that we will get answers about Miss Blood.
Oh, that's the old broad, right? That was that kept showing up. That like was possibly the Doctor's daughter or whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, that was she. I'm talking about the neighbor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Miss Blood is the neighbor. Yeah. Ruby's neighbor. Yeah. Okay.
The one who didn't know what a TARDIS was in episode 1, but then in the post credits knew what it was and talked straight to the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was thinking of the
Susan Twist.
Yeah, Susan Twist. Yeah.
Which, by the way, they did confirm that she's gonna be coming back, making another appearance this season.
Interesting.
Yep. Also, the new companion, her last name is Ronnie.
Oh, so it could be a reference to like the Ronnie.
Well, that or in the Adventures of Sarah Jane Smith, the Doctor Who spinoff, they had one of the leads. Her last name, she was of Indian descent and had the last name Ronnie. So,
oh, cool.
Like, could she be related to her?
That'd be interesting.
And could they also?
Because I mean, they've done generational connection stuff, with the previous season, so that could make sense.
Yeah, and they did also recently remind us about Sarah Jane Smith dying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looks cool and interesting. They're definitely got a bigger budget and they're going like more full throttle, and I'm excited. Don't know if you saw, but I think they said that they're coming back in April 20th.
Oh, April 20th, cool, nice.
But
looking forward
that's
to
exciting. Then the two movies that we saw, The Parenting.
That looks wild.
Yeah.
It looks like a fun offbeat horror comedy with a really loaded cast.
Mm-hmm.
Which speaking to that, Jay, did you recognize the leading two?
I did not.
One of them was the best friend on Atypical.
Oh.
Yep.
The Indian kid.
Yep. And then his boyfriend, the other one, was Justin on 13 Reasons Why.
Oh shit. Huh.
Yep.
Cool.
And they're joined by a slew of older, awesome actors.
I'm just excited to see Lisa Kudrow.
Oh,
she just looks like her character just looks like pure chaos, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And also keeps cussing and saying that wasn't me,
That's
that
not
wasn't me.
I don't like that word. I think that'll be a fun. I think that'll be a fun running gag.
Also, a movie that brings Dean Norris and Brian Cox in the same film, which are both older men with like strong personalities.
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
Same. And the other one is Sacramento.
Sacramento reminds me of this often forgotten buddy comedy from like the early 2010s that I saw with Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr. called Due Date.
Oh yeah.
Because it kind of had a similar plot. Well, on one hand, Robert Downey Jr. was about to have a kid. On the other hand, like Zach Galifianakis had his dad's ashes in a coffee can, and he was trying to find a place to spread his dad's ashes.
Ooh.
Literally, wow! It is kind of the same plot, huh?
Well, this movie is written. It is co-written, directed, and starring Michael Angarano, which that name might not sound familiar, but we've mentioned him in the show previously. He was in Will and Grace, Sky High,
Oh,
The Forbidden Kingdom.
he played. Yeah, he played Will in Sky High.
Yep.
Right.
He was also in This Is Us. Yeah, and this seems to be like his indie project that he's working on, where I think it's his directorial debut.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, like I told the boys off camera, he even brings in his IRL.
It definitely has like a nice buddy road trip vibe. I mean, like that didn't like entirely catch my attention, but I would check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently it debuted at the Tribeca Festival last year to good reception.
Nice.
But now, boys, let's move on to anime.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Lazarus.
That shit looks dope.
Yes.
I don't know anything about it except for the fact that it's created by Shinichiro Watanabe. And if you do not know who Shinichiro Watanabe is, clearly did not grow up in the 90s as an anime fan, because Shinichiro Watanabe is the fucking genius behind such certified hood classics as Cowboy Bebop, Kids on a Slope, Carol and Tuesday. Yeah, the everlasting bop that is fucking bullshit. Shinichiro Watanabe.
Yep. And don't know if you noticed, but the fights seemed better.
Yeah.
That is because they actually got like a fight choreographer for this,
Oh, cool.
and it is Chad Danilewski. Probably saying that wrong. He is a stuntman and filmmaker. He directed the first John Wick.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's sick as fuck.
Yeah, no, the fight scene did look very fluid. I mean, it's still definitely very reminiscent of like Spike's Jeet Kune Do, especially with the main guy who literally just kind of looks like new Spike.
Yep. And also, it's being done by Mappa.
Those poor fucking... Let those people see their families!
Let them go home, man. Let them go home.
Those poor bastards are never gonna get unchained from their desk!
No.
Let them go home.
Oh man, all those poor overworked animators are just missing the birth of their children, their first words, first steps, all of that. Oh my goodness.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
We appreciate
But,
the sacrifice, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed. And also, the other one was, don't know if y'all heard about that one before. L Teacher.
Yeah, I had not. It looks cool.
Yeah.
It's actually a remake.
Oh really?
The original shonen manga was in Shonen Jump in the 90s.
Oh, interesting.
Ran for like 6 years.
That's why it looked so 90s.
I would say it did have a 90s vibe in terms of the art style. Yeah.
Toei did do a 49 episode anime about it in the late 90s with 3 OVAs, but now they're redoing it with modern animation.
Like, it kind of reminds me of Devilman. Like, it gave me, like, not as, like, trippy and, like, wild with the visuals, but, like, I don't know, like, the vibe to it gave me, like, a Devilman feel. Maybe it's because he literally has a devil fist, but, like...
Well, it's being done by Studio Kai, if that's anything.
Never heard of them. Glad Mappa's getting a break.
Yep. So that looks promising.
Yeah. It looks cool. It definitely looks cool. I mean,
Yep,
with Don popping off, I'm glad like they're giving more weird supernatural stuff a chance.
Yep. Oh, this definitely looks like the whole entire thing of like the like more horror dramatic protector of innocence.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It has kind of a Devilman vibe without like the like kind of deeper philosophical stuff that Devilman had. At least specifically Devilman Crybaby, which fucking great show, beautiful show, crazy animation.
But then lastly, before we get to our main, we had the new Dimension 20 trailer, which normally, but I did an exception for this because the topic matter and the players.
Yeah, it's two things. It's two things that I love: fucking Greek mythology and wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't just get anybody. They got like people like Kofi Kingston. They got Bailey. Like these are actual factual like full on champs.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I'm definitely
and the
excited.
story is revolved around wrestling.
Yeah. It seems like a really dope concept. I'd want to check that out.
Oh yeah, indeed. And I do have Dropout So,
Mhm.
but anyway, that's it for the trailers.
Okay. So now, you know what? Nope. I'm gonna stay in my normal accent. I was literally about to switch directly into British from here on. Nope. We're gonna stay in my normal accent. Yeah, so now we are going to talk about our main topic of the night, which is 1,000 Below Season 1, which I can, like, confidently say Season 1 because, they have confirmed that it's been renewed for Season 2. I mean, I knew it because I was like, oh, wow, it literally ended with a to be continued, and then, like, right after they already had a coming attractions thing. I was like, oh, you don't usually do this unless you know you have a Season 2. I guess it already got renewed, and then Brian told me, yep, it got renewed already before it even came out. It's like, oh, cool, nice. So you don't have to worry. The cliffhanger that they end you on, if you haven't seen it yet, and you do end up watching it and enjoying it, don't worry. They're not gonna blue ball you with this cliffhanger. There is going to be a follow-up, so no worries there.
Oh boy, the follow-up looks interesting.
Oh yeah.
But before we talk about the follow-up, we probably should talk about what comes up before that.
Yep. So, spoiler-free discussion. Going into this, I was super excited, because, like I said, I really like Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders is awesome. I'm a sucker. I'm an absolute sucker for hood rat shit TV shows. Like, just people getting into hood rat shit. It's why I liked the Six of Crows section of the Shadow and Bones TV show, and other stuff like that. We talked about Bloodhound before. Very much like me and my friends getting into hood rat shit with boxing. Like the environment is really interesting. I believe this is Victorian era England. I'm not entirely sure. Just judging by the fashion, it seems like it's Victorian era England. They never put up a year, or at least I didn't see one.
No, but it is. It
has to be
based. It is. Looks to be the 1880s.
Yeah, I was like, I know it's like somewhere. I know it has to be somewhere in the 1800s at the very least.
But we do roughly know the time period though, because this is a fictional take on real events.
Yeah, so it's really cool. This is kind of your classic rags to riches, chase your dream boxing story mixed in with, like, seedy underbelly crime drama with, like, like old school East London gang politics,
which is pretty boss, man.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There are, like, a lot of really dope, compelling characters. The choreography in the actual fights is so awesome. The music is great. I really love the music and the music cues. Like, it really kind of, like, brings up the energy of the whole show. Like, the score is great.
Oh yeah, and it's like a common thing that when you start hearing the Jamaican music, shit's about to go down.
Or when you hear, like, the melody of the theme song, the dun 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 dun, like, oh shit.
Yep.
It's about to go down.
But yeah, like, it's really interesting. They don't play it as straightforward as you would expect. Like, obviously, with this show starring like a black man set in Britain in the 1800s, we can kind of guess where things go. But they do a lot of interesting stuff with this show. Now, granted, I am not from the UK. I don't know how historically accurate this is. But it's definitely interesting to see kind of like the reactions of people to our main character of Hezekiah and his brother Alec, and seeing their journey. And man, the actual, like, crime drama stuff is really enthralling. That's the part that really had me hooked. The main center of that comes from Mary and her gang, known as the 40 Elephants. They are a gang of female thieves, and it is really fucking dope.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Like, if you guys are into that kind of stuff, or, like I said before, if you enjoyed Bloodhound, I think you definitely would enjoy this show as well. Do you guys have anything you want to add, spoiler-free wise, before we jump into the main discussion?
One of the things that got me invested into this show is actually Hezekiah's story.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, his like rags to riches, like epic boxer moment, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's classic.
Which, the acting in this is really good. Especially, Hezekiah's actor, Malachi Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's great.
An amazing job.
Apparently he, like, first made a name for himself in the Roots reboot.
Oh, interesting.
He was Kunta Kinte.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good for him.
Oh, whatchamacallit? I think it was also really interesting that Hezekiah and Alec also come from like a mixed race background. Their grandmother was half Chinese.
Well,
I think, Alec
Yeah.
is brother by choice.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
Because they kept calling each other brothers, and I didn't know if that was like brother as in like close friend or actual like blood brother.
Nah.
Because when he's confronting Sugar, he said, your brother fucked up your brother wants to kill my brother. Why would I want to deal with you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he was actually talking to.
Yeah, he was talking to
Sugar's
Sugar's. Yeah, he was talking to Sugar's little brother. I know.
Yeah.
Alec was talking to Sugar's little brother. That's why I thought they were actually brothers, because he had that whole conversation of like, well, your brother is trying to kill my brother. Why do I even want to deal with you?
Yeah, Alec had a different surname, and I think
Okay.
it was Mole.
Okay.
Yeah,
His
it was
is Monroe.
Hezekiah.
Yeah.
It's Hezekiah
Hezekiah Moscow, and then okay. Yeah, Hezekiah Moscow.
Alec Monroe.
And Monroe for Alec. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, Hezekiah's grandma was Chinese.
Yep. Half
Yes.
Chinese. Yep.
Half Chinese, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then of course, like that taught him the valuable skill of like, knowing Mandarin, which is really dope, and helped him foster a friendship later on that can become very important. But yeah, all the characters are very interesting. The fights are really good. It's these are like 40-minute episodes, but man, do they fly by. They are very well paced.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those 6 episodes breezed by fast. I was so locked into Monster Hunter that I was like, the guy's joke was like, hey, remember you gotta watch the show? I was like, oh yeah, I got it. And as soon as I started, I was like, oh wow, I'm done already? Damn.
Because, don't know if y'all remember, but there was a certain video game named Tekken 5 where
Tekken 8.
Tekken 8, sorry.
Tekken 5
That
was
Jay-
over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Jay got so enthralled that he forgot to watch the episode the show that week.
Now, to be fair, Monster Hunter was brand new to me, so I didn't have an established hyperfixation like I do with fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And the reason, and I realized why I said Tekken 5, because I was thinking of Street Fighter 5.
Well,
I mixed the two.
the new Street Fighter is Street Fighter 6. You're still off by 1.
Yeah, but oh well.
Which my
Anyway.
Shiranui just came out for Street Fighter 6. That's gonna date this podcast. But yeah, Mai just came out, and she looks pretty cool.
Nice. But yeah, back to the show. It was really good.
Yeah.
And I see what you mean there, Jay, but it is very, like, bingeable and fly-by.
Oh yeah. Like.
Which is very interesting, because apparently I thought that this was a Hulu original. It's not.
Oh, it's just something Hulu bought the rights to?
No, it's a Disney Plus original.
Oh, what? I mean, oh yeah, I guess they are the same company. Yeah. Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, go Disney Plus.
Disney, coming out strong.
Yeah. All right, so like that's really all we can say without spoiling. This show definitely does get the Channel Treasure seal of approval. Go check it out. You're in for a great time.
Yep.
But now let's jump into spoilers. Man, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the most interesting dynamic for me was seeing both the contrast and similarity between Sugar and Hezekiah.
Oh yeah.
And how that developed, and like how Sugar is Hezekiah if he just not that he didn't give a fuck, but like that he was just consumed by like his need for victory. But I do also respect that Sugar isn't, I mean, he is an asshole, but he has like this like gentleman's code of honor still.
Yeah, it's interesting because he hates the prim proper gentlemanly side of London and their boxing, but he does have his own code for when it comes to him boxing.
Yep. Yeah, because you know
And
he
life.
prefers old school bare knuckle, which you know I can respect that. And like I was joking around with Brian, and like I still stand by this. Like there's a scene where like you know he offers Hezekiah a fair fight, and he fucking like you know he just got finished you know training on like a heavy bag. He comes out, you know he offers the deal. He fucking spits in his hand and then like you know does the thing, and I'm just like, you nasty motherfucker, you were just out here sweating, doing all this shit, you spit in your fucking. I'm not shaking your fucking hand. I'll accept the deal, but I ain't shaking your fucking hand. Not out of disrespect towards you, but that's just because it's fucking nasty.
Yeah, I feel you. And also Sugar's whole thing where it's like, I'm gonna respect you because you are going through a lot of shit, but we are eventually going to get in that ring, and in that ring I am going to kill you.
Also, you know, another thing with Sugar that you know differs him from Hezekiah is that Hezekiah does want to move up in the world, so he does want to you know go from just East End slum bare knuckle boxing to the gentlemanly West End official sanctioned boxing with gloves and such. But you know,
Yep.
Sugar just wants to stay where he is. He's comfortable just being the big bad scary bruiser. But his brother is not, and so his brother decides to take that opportunity
Oh boy.
instead. And man,
The beating that poor bastard got.
that's not even it's not even a beating. He destroyed that man.
He did.
And it was his own flesh and blood. And
Which is
like
crazy.
and like kudos to the actor who played Sugar, because like just the look on his face when he turns to leave and he just kind of looks at his handiwork, it's just like, oh shit. And also I love the performance of the brother, you know, when Sugar comes to the hospital with the gift and he talks about, you know, everything's paid for, blah 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 blah. He's like, stay the fuck away from me. Stay the fuck away from me and my family, especially my son. I'm done with your bullshit, man. You're just stuck in your ways. You know, I wanted to move forward. I wanted a better life. You just want to get stuck here. No, I'm tired of this bullshit.
Which like you said, kudos to the actor. Which by the way, the one that plays Sugar, Stephen Graham, he's a very seasoned British actor. If you recognized him, he was in the 6th season of Peaky Blinders. He was in the Pirates trilogy. He was Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh shit.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
he was in Gangs of...
Nice. Yeah, he has
a lot of different
he
stuff.
He has a very tough guy face. Yeah, he definitely pulls that shit off.
And unfortunately, he was also Patrick Mulligan in the Venom trilogy.
Ooh.
Mm.
That's apparently Last Dance is on Netflix now.
Yep.
I haven't watched it yet, but I am kind of curious.
Might have to check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the overall theme of the season, I feel, is kind of like being consumed by ambition.
I believe it.
And like, you know, nobody embodies that better than fucking Queen Mary herself. Oh boy, this bitch.
This dumb bitch.
Yeah.
She, man.
She mishandled everything.
Dude, she fumbled the bag so hard. Like every turn, she had her people being like, "Yo, Mary, you sure?" Like, I don't know if this is worth it. Did you double check if this was legit? It's like, no, I trust it. This is a real score. This is the biggest score we'll ever get. Let's do it. They got fucking played.
It feels like just trust the process.
And she ended up with nothing but bootleg, silver-plated bullshit.
And a dead body. We'll get to that.
A lot of dead bodies.
I did not see that coming. Like fucking Lau killing the fucking head of the delegation. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
I didn't see it either, but I understood why he did it.
I mean, he was definitely talking reckless. He was definitely talking reckless.
And it was clear that he only said yes when he saw Delegate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he wanted to get rid of him because, from what I understood, he had something to do with what happened to his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a revenge play.
Which,
Yeah.
going back to Mary, it was very obvious that he saw the name, read it out loud, and then said, "Don't worry, I've got my own outfit." That was clearly a red flag, but
Yep.
she was so like tunnel visioned that she didn't notice it.
Yeah, it's like, wait, how is he prepared? What does he know about this? What, like, I had so many questions, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
and I was right to question. Mary, like, she's so smart, but also so stupid.
Yeah, and she also
Oh my god, it's dumb.
she also does not know how to take accountability.
No, she does not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She does not take accountability
Absolutely.
whatsoever. And
Like-
that's the thing that drives her and Hezekiah apart, because like you know, like when he finally like puts it together and he's like, wait a fucking second, you're the reason my best friend was murdered.
Mhm.
It was because of you and your bullshit,
And you knew, and you didn't
and
tell
you
me.
didn't say shit to me. You saw how devastated I was. You comforted me, but you did. What the fuck is wrong? No, I'm done.
Mhm.
You're dead to me.
I want
man.
nothing to do
And
with you.
the delivery on that, the you're dead to me, America. And I was like, oh shit.
And
Yeah.
and that like pure primal scream that he had
Oh,
to
man.
try to scare her
Yeah.
away.
And like, dude, like again, kudos to the actress. Like her like reaction, like genuine heartbreak. Because you could tell that she was like really falling in love with Hezekiah.
Well, that's also a thing, because if you notice at that moment, she starts calling him Hez.
Yep.
She's never given him a nickname before.
Yep. Well, she started.
And that really-
she was calling him Hez during the fight when he accidentally murdered the boxer, which I did not see that shit coming either.
Oh yeah,
Holy
indeed.
shit.
I mean, that Buster motherfucker was really he was playing.
I mean, that's one of the dangers of old school boxing, right? You literally have no gloves and you're bashing your fist into somebody's skull.
No, it was gloved. The entire match was gloved the whole
you're
time.
right. This was gentleman's boxing. Yeah, you're right.
But
And also that Buster motherfucker was just writing checks that his mouth was writing checks that his body couldn't cash.
Oh, 100%.
Basically.
100%.
two things to that. One, if you saw him, he was boxing to kill. And then also his manager had no
Yo, so many.
Yeah.
Everybody in this fucking show thinks Hezekiah is cool with fixing fights. Y'all need to learn. No.
I was dumbfounded actually by man's name was fucking Jerry.
The gall of he just came up in there and just like he really thought he was doing him a favor. I was like, wow.
Yeah, bro.
that's fucking
Jerry thought he cooked with that one.
man. It was crazy.
Then also, in that moment, heads up, kudos to Victoria, because
The adopted, I think it's the adopted daughter of the queen.
Yeah. Yep, Victoria.
because she came in, was like, Mary, I know who you really are. Get him the fuck out of here, because shit's about to go down. And then her aide comes, and she's like, oh, did you get lost? Oh, yes.
Yeah. Like, and she was literally like, hey, I'll even let you borrow my carriage. Go, get him the fuck out.
But
He's
that,
gonna die.
code switch that she did.
Right?
Oh,
on
absolutely.
A dime. That was beautiful. Good shit.
Yeah, that was definitely. I'm talking to a white.
I think she was. I think she's like the queen's niece or something. Is what they meant. What they said. Yeah.
An adopted member of the family.
Yeah.
So she's not.
Yeah.
She's not part of the like the royal bloodline, but she's just adopted.
She's considered a member of the family still. Yeah. But yeah, that was dope. Man, poor Lau. Holy shit.
Yeah, Lau, bro. He went through some shit, man.
Even before the camera started rolling.
And I really like the conversation that that Lau has about, you know, just kind of living and like, you know, preserving your dreams and giving Hezekiah that pep talk that he needed.
Absolutely.
Here's this man whose life is basically ending.
Not even.
And he said,
it's like it's guaranteed. He straight up said, he was like, yep, tomorrow they're handing me over to the Chinese government, so I get killed.
Yep. But instead of focusing on that, he's like, let's focus on you. and help you
Mhm.
because you're still gonna live. So
Yeah.
let's make
What?
sure you live
What
better.
a bro. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mr. Lau is a real one.
yeah,
And I also like that moment earlier on where he's like, I know it's not just you down
Yeah,
there.
but I'll only charge for one because you're my Chinese brother. I was like, oh, that's cute. Nice. Thank you, Mr. Lau.
And then
Yeah.
that moment where it was like, do you want soup? I made too much.
Yeah, yeah, like they have such a good friendship, and again, I care like you care about a lot of these like smaller characters, like
Mhm.
I wanted to know more about Esme and Alex's relationship because I didn't see that coming. I was like, when like they visited Mary, and then Esme was like, you go see her, you go see her, Hezekiah. I'll take care of this one. And she was like, you miss me? And I was like, whoa, did I miss something? When did they?
Yeah, because earlier on
Yeah.
in like I think it was like the first episode or so,
They
he's
were
dropping off
flirting.
his bags and they were flirting hard.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's clearly something that I like about this show. And to be fair, White Lotus also does this, where it's just like things will happen off screen, like within the story, but since it doesn't have to deal with the main plot that you're following, it just happens in the sphere of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes the world feel more lived in. So, like,
Yeah.
life goes on when the camera's not rolling, kind of thing. Yeah, I really like
Yeah.
it. It also just makes this version of London into its own character. Well, like we especially really get to see it with like Hezekiah kind of working his way up as this kind of champion of the common people, getting into those like gentlemanly sports, and then like really kind of getting in there, and like him learning to market himself, and it's all really interesting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I think like the capstone of that whole London being a character in this is the fact of at the very end, after the emotional cliffhanger happens, we just pan out to the London like cityscape
Yeah.
and just pause on that for a bit.
Yeah, and like, now season 2 is gonna be really interesting because everything is in fucking shambles.
Oh yeah.
Mary, Lau is taken care of now, but Mary is still gonna be scrambling because of all her fuck ups.
Mhm.
And is she actually gonna go to America?
Yeah, is she gonna actually go to America and escape? She said she was heading to New York.
And what the hell is going on with her father? Because they were being very hush about that.
Yeah. Like, and also like, so is Jane her mom? I was confused about that. Like,
Yeah, I think the way it's presented is that Jane is.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I thought. That's what it felt like. But I didn't know if it was like a mom in like the sense of like biological mom, or like she was the boss before her kind of thing.
No, I think she's her biological mom.
Which makes me
Um,
think is Indigo her dad?
No.
Like well, she says that her dad is in America.
In-
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, she did mention her dad was in America. Yeah, right.
So my thing is, who the fuck is her dad?
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna go to America. One, because she's too important of a character to Hezekiah's story. I don't think she's just gonna dip. And two, like there's too much drama with like her scrambling around and trying to rebuild, and also like her girls don't trust her anymore. Like it's gonna be really interesting to like build from the ground up.
It seemed like she was ready to go on that, just picking up Hezekiah on the way.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
I
Yeah.
almost wonder if Jane is gonna stop her.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Because
thinking.
if you notice, before then, Jane talked to Sugar, and that's when Sugar revealed all that stuff to Hezekiah. So
Yep.
she clearly knew that they were going to go somewhere.
Yep. And also, what is Jane and Sugar's connection? Because they seem like old friends almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
I would have almost.
But they're also like big time. Like they're also big time names in the like East London, East End criminal underworld, I guess.
I would have almost had a thought of like, was he secretly
Secretly her dad. I had that same thought.
I had it too, but then also, why would he want to marry his daughter?
Yeah, exactly. He's not a royal. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, but anyway, it's all interesting, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. Because
Oh yeah.
like Jane herself is a very interesting character that I don't know how to feel about.
Mm-hmm. But man,
That whole thing, but when she told Mary that I don't hate you because I don't have the time.
Yeah, that was cold-blooded. I don't have time for those kind of things. I was like, damn. That was ice cold.
But also in the same vein, it does seem like she's trying to look out for Mary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think she admires Mary's ambition, but she also sees that Mary is too big for her breaking.
Yeah,
and she's
I can see that.
She's trying to, like, keep her kid in check. It's like, look, I want you to succeed, but you're doing too much. You're being stupid.
Also, different side character there.
I definitely think New Girl is gonna come into play as well at some point.
Oh yeah,
Shop Girl.
Yeah, Alice.
Yeah, Alice. That was her name. Yes, Shop Girl.
Alice.
She's gonna come into play for sure because she still wants to, like, earn Mary's respect and join the gang. So, like, I could see, like, fucking, to borrow from the Penguin, like, her becoming, like, Mary's new Victor, Mary's Victor, hopefully without the murder at the end, but with this show, who fucking knows.
By the way, I did like that little thing where one of the girls.
Oh yeah. When they were escaping, Esme like
cold
cocked her, just like, sorry, Mary's orders. You have to look like the innocent victim. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but also another side character that honestly I'm kind of worried about. Sugar's nephew.
Yeah, because like the fact that Sugar's little brother specifically mentions, like, especially my son in their, like, final conversation, it's like, oh, that means this kid's gonna be dragged in here somehow.
Well, also, we already know that the nephew idolizes Sugar.
Yeah, and he wants to be a boxer just like him.
Yeah, even though the mom didn't want Sugar to know, he told
him,
where the dad was healing.
Yep, where the hospital was, yeah.
And that his dad actually woke up.
Which, man, Jesus, like, the savagery, dude, like, that's your little brother. I still can't get over that. I've seen violence, but I couldn't watch all of that.
Yeah, Sugar's like rage and like brutalism kind of almost reminds me of Netflix's Kingpin.
Oh yeah, definitely gives that, like, that big willy, like, when he snaps type energy. For sure.
Like, also that other time where Sugar was in the ring and then he pushed too far.
Yep.
And then started attacking the ref.
Yep. Oh man, that was intense.
Which also, kudos to them for continuity, because at that point, one of the people comes by and, like, pushes their thumb in Sugar's eye. Also, and then for the rest of the season, when you look at Sugar's eye, it's red.
Yep. Also, like, what's up with, like, the toughest dudes having, like, the silliest nicknames? Like,
yeah,
both Sugar and Suge Knight have the nickname Sugar, and they're, like, fucking hard gangster motherfuckers.
Maybe it's the thing of, like, why sometimes you see these hulking, like, muscle dudes go by the nickname Tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may be something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Also, I think the nickname Sugar, at least in this man's case, he's a very bitter man, and Sugar's very sweet.
Oh yeah, it's again ironic nickname. Yeah, I can definitely see that. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see where this all goes. Again, I'm, like, as interested as I am to see, like, Hezekiah's journey now that he has, like, now that he has nothing to lose, but he does have his passion for fighting resparked thanks to Mr. Lau. As interested as I am in that, I am, like, super invested in Mary and, like, where the fuck is she gonna go now? Like, what is gonna go down? And I want to see more of the, like, London underworld.
Well, now that Hezekiah is like, responsible for the murder, will that affect his trajectory?
Yeah, is he gonna have to probably go back to, boxing in the East End to avoid jail time?
Yeah, and could that get him roped up in that world and back with Mary? Because I will say one other thing is, when I was seeing the trailer and everything, I was not expecting a heist.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. That was a nice surprise.
Yeah, and the heist was very well executed.
Just a shame that it was all for naught.
Right, man.
Well, hey, it wasn't all for naught, because Lau got revenge.
Yeah, true. He got his get back. Man, always double check your sources, Mary. Come on now. But yeah, so, unless you guys have anything else to say, do you want to go ahead and just jump into final thoughts and ratings?
Okay.
All right. Well, I really enjoyed this show. Like I said, I had a blast. The characters like really kind of like endeared me to them. Rest in peace, Alec. And like. The fight choreography was great. The music was great. There really isn't anything bad I can say about this show. But at the same time, there wasn't the same kind of like wow factor. And I'm bringing this comparison up again. Bloodhounds had those like big moments of, oh damn, wow. Now granted, the heist was really cool, and like all of Hezekiah's fights are hype as shit. But like there wasn't a like super wow factor where I'm just like, you have to see this show for this moment. So I'm going to give it a comfortable 8.5. It doesn't quite get to the 9 yet because it does not have that wow, but it's still great. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, I really like this show. Like, it's one of the better things I've seen in a while. But yeah, thinking about it, you're right. You're right. There were like particular moments in Bloodhound where you're just like, damn, you have to see this.
Yeah, like that. Like you guys remember the scene in the tunnel where they're going they're fighting like hordes of gang members, just the two of them.
Yep, and then
the mentor comes in with the sushi knife, and it's just like, oh shit.
And then also the subway scene where the homegirl comes in with the baton and the taser.
Yep.
And she got crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, nothing like that. I'm sure season 2 will have, but like season 1 didn't have anything like that yet.
Yeah. So you're right. There is nothing like spectacular that boosts it to a 9. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for 8.5.
All right, Tony, what about you?
I'd say this show in particular, yeah, I definitely think it deserves a 9 from me.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't doubt that, because it is a great show.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It is kind of funny. If you're keeping track at home, listeners, we have been we have been on the same wavelength score wise for a while now. In these past few episodes. So
yeah. It's almost like we share the same brain cell.
Yep. Tony finally broke the tradition.
Which was so funny, because part of the reason why we brought in Tony was because Jay and I were having such same view.
Yep. But yeah, so as you can see, 1,000 Blows is great. Cannot wait for season 2. That'll definitely be on the calendar for us to cover when that comes out, for sure. But Brian, why don't you tell the lovely folks at home what they can expect from us next week on the Channel Chasers podcast?
Did we ever decide?
I thought didn't we say Invincible?
No, Invincible's gonna take a week. So Deli Boys?
Oh yeah, we can do that. That's Hulu, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, we're sticking to Hulu, and we're going for the Deli Boys.
We're also sticking to crime, I guess.
Yeah. More crime.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah.
And but before we go and say bye to y'all, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to us, and ring that notification bell for us, please.
Yep.
We would like your eyes and ears on our channel here.
Yep. So you don't miss any new episodes of the podcast. New episodes of Comic Chaser, and any of the other stuff we end up cooking up for you guys. Oh, real quick, we did not mention this in Screen Times. I just want to briefly mention it here. Pokemon Day did happen as of the recording of this podcast, and I'm excited for the Pokemon Stadium style game. Those are always fun. I can't wait for it. I'm gonna have a blast.
And the fact that it's cross.
Yeah, and it's gonna be on mobile too, so that's dope. So you don't have to invest in a whole ass console for it. Personally, I don't get the hate for the starter announcement. I'll just say it right here. Because we had Cyndaquil for Arceus. It makes sense that the other two Johtos would get some love. And let's be real, like the Johto starters do need a revamp. They're the only, they're one of the only monotype ones along with the Galar. But Galar at least has modern abilities and gimmicks. At least with this, they'll get a secondary typing. They'll get megas. Chikorita desperately needs some love.
Actually, from what Loxton said, which I saw his video on why these particular stars were chosen, to make it as quick as I can. Chikorita got a new move added to its move set, Disarming Voice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
So-
you can, when they're battling with Chikorita in that one scene, you can see it at the bottom right.
Also, if they have, if it has Disarming Voice, that could mean it could be a Grass Fairy. Interesting.
Yeah, which would mean that the starters that we're choosing at the start of the game are getting regional variants to their final evolutions rather than megas.
Ah, okay.
Or both.
I don't know. I cannot, because if it were to be fully Kalos, then we'd be getting another set of starters to be the megas, which I would assume would be the Colossean starters.
Yeah, it's probably going to be because with Kalos we got with the original Gen 7 games we got the Gen 1 starters. It was
Gen 6.
Oh, it was 6, right? 7 is Alola. My bad.
Yeah. But enough of us yapping.
But yeah, overall, really cool announcements. We were gonna do a whole video talking about it, but then like Brian pointed out, it's like, is it really that much to put into a whole video? I was like, you know what, you're right. So just wanted to mention it here on the tail end, you know, because as you know, we have covered Pokemon in the past. Me and Tony in particular are huge Pokemon fans, so we'll definitely talk more about it as stuff comes out for sure. But yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week for Deli Boys. Get ready for more hood rat shit, people. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Until next time, we'll catch you later. Peace.